you are working with athletes that are extremely pliable and they're trying to learn, and we have to focus on where they're at and give them good programming, not random. Kids should not be receiving random. They need
Yeah.
focus.
I do want to just expound on that point. And a lot of athletes or even parents will be like, well, why isn't the program changing? And when we're talking skill acquisition and learning the movement patterns and then eventually loading them, you're likely going to be doing the same movements over and over again, but you're going to
Mhm,
be changing load. You might be changing tempos and doing
mhm,
an isometric or
mhm,
maybe a different stance, or maybe the load's
mhm,
going to be on a different side. But
mhm,
for the most part, it's going to be a lot of repetition so
mhm,
that your female athlete is actually getting better at these movements.
mhm,
So something like a squat, you're going to be doing it a lot, but you might be pausing in that bottom position just to make it a little bit more challenging, and then maybe
mhm,
you'll up the load in the next few weeks or the next month. And
mhm,
I just want parents to understand, look, if you have a program for your female athlete and it's constantly changing every single week and it's too much variety in the weight room, it's not a good program. You have to actually master these movement patterns for a long period of time. Emily, do you want to add on to that?
Oh my goodness. Absolutely. There's a thing called progressive overload, and that also
Mhm.
applies to motor skill acquisition, and that we have to progressively continue to do something. In progressive, I mean, we have to do maybe a little more, add a little tempo,
Mhm.
change it to allow for that movement to become rote. It has to be something that your athlete isn't thinking about. She knows how to squat. And I think kind of bringing back to what we were talking about with Osgood Slaughters is that I've
Mhm.
had scenarios in that where a parent is like, well, her knees hurt, so I don't want her squatting. And I bring up the, well, squatting is a human movement pattern. So we don't want to avoid something. Instead, we want to work within a range where she's not feeling pain. So, where in the squat can we not feel pain? So, maybe we only get to a quarter squat. Lovely. So,
Mhm.
can we pause? Can we pause where we start to feel a little discomfort? Pause and let's build some tolerance. Next week, don't do the same
Yes.
thing, but we're going to pause a little bit longer. Next week after that, we're going to pause. Maybe we get a little lower because we built more tolerance. And that's how we're going to progressively overload it because we're doing the same movement. We're changing based on where she's feeling. And by the end of, let's say, 4 to 8 weeks, depending on her frequency of coming in, our goal is to get her to do a full depth squat because that's how we're going to get her knees stronger. But by avoiding a movement pattern, yes, we're avoiding the experience of pain, but we're
Mhm.
only setting this athlete up for a future experience of pain because we've never tackled the cause of that pain head on.
Mhm. That's another important point. I think when the Osgood slaughter happens, people will want to shy away from any quad type movement, but like you
Mhm,
said, there's ways around it, and maybe just go as low as you can tolerate or hold
mhm,
that bottom position or do an isometric. And I'm going to share like just one of our like go-to movements. Oops, let me get this
mm.
copy video link here. Oh, hold on. Let me reset this page. Sorry, guys. Bear with me. Mm. So yeah, this is like one of our most like basic tests. Let me here. Okay, here we go. Yeah, just a lunge hold, and it exposes not only the muscular endurance and tolerance of the quad, but it also exposes any asymmetry. So if she's kind of like swaying one way, swaying the other way, and losing her balance, that could also be a core stability issue
Mhm,
that needs to be addressed. So it's just a good test of just so many things. And usually girls with Osgood-Schlatters, when they're doing lunge isometrics, they rarely experience pain. I don't think I've ever had anyone say it was a painful movement.
mhm,
And usually these isometrics do the trick with any type of knee pain.
mhm. Yeah,
So,
isometrics have been found to provide a type of analgesic effect for pain. So if your athlete's knee hurts, lovely, let's get her into a split squat or a lunge position and hold. And if we hold after she stands, her knee will feel better. And that's one of the coolest parts of human movement, in that let's not avoid pain. Let's figure out why we're feeling pain. Let's work around it and let's have a goal to be able to achieve a specific movement pattern. But
Mhm.
isometrics are like one of the most important types of, variations that we can give for an athlete. So, hey, your knee hurts. That's okay. We're going to do a split squat and we're going to pause at that position where you first start to feel a little pain and we're going to hold it.
Mhm.
And then you're going to stand and you're going to feel better. And we're going to keep driving that in week to week to week to week until this pain goes away.
Yeah, and just to define isometric for you guys, it's basically the muscle is still contracting and working, but the joint is not moving. So it's really great for girls with knee pain. Now, as far as the during PHB, so you talked about how some adults might make some comments about their girl, oh well, you're running so awkward, or you keep tripping over yourself, or
Mhm.
I've heard this before and it breaks my heart, you gain weight. Okay,
Mm.